Good evening from Swansea, South Wales, wrestling fans. I am your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It's a Wednesday, and we have a lot of news in wrestling to talk about today. Plus, don't worry, everybody who wants to see Mount Rushmores, we are going to be doing one in the final segment today, and it's going to be about theme changes. It's going to be a fun show, and without further ado, let me introduce my panel to do it with me. Let's kick things off over, not in LA, but just outside LA in a place called Orange County. Don't call it LA, they don't like it. How are you, Clark?
I'm doing great. Honestly, also, I dug the formal version of the intro. Swansea, South Wales. That was electric, Ben. I didn't see that coming. Full geography. I dig it. I'm excited. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Let's get into the news. We've been spending a lot of time in the Dakotas recently, and we'll head back for another Rushmore. So I'm fired up, Ben. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely, and the reason why I specified Swansea, South Wales is because there is another Swansea in this beautiful world that we live in, because there are some copycats. And that place that copied Swansea, the beautiful Swansea, is a very ugly Swansea, and that ugly Swansea is where our next panelist resides. How are you today, Des?
I'm doing good. I just had my hometown kind of dogged on live, but it's all right. Yep. We still rocking. I should make a new shirt. Respect Toronto, respect Swansea, Massachusetts. That's going to be the next shirt I'm going to wear. But I'm excited to be here. It's going to be a fun one. Let's get into it.
What color is your Gower? I mean, you won't get that.
No, but it is fun.
I don't even know what Gower is. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Also,
let me tell you something. You guys do not have the Gower.
But out here claiming Canada is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it is. How bad must Swansea, America be that you're claiming Canada?
Yeah, he was like, you know what? Forget this. Not Massachusetts.
I have a respect Toronto plus in a little bit Swansea. There we go. Just so it can fit into the hoodie.
I think that's what I respect Des the most for, though, is he's from Massachusetts, doesn't root for one team from there. Patriots, nah.
It sucks. Cowboys. It's the B-Tech Swansea.
No, I root for the Celtics, but yeah, everybody else.
Celtics. There you go. He's got one.
I got one Boston team. There you go. The rest are all different.
Remember when Razor Ramon and Diesel left WWE for WCW, and they briefly tried to just replace them with jobbers? I mean, that's basically what Dez's hometown is.
Yeah, it's the job squad Swansea. It's fake Razor and fake Diesel.
Exactly that, but it is also National Lemon Bar Day.
Was Kane.
Lemon bars, I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest.
I don't know what a lemon bar is. They haven't been invented in the good Swansea yet.
They're actually very good.
Numero 1 is in the chat too. Shout out to you, and Fernando as well. Shout out to each and every one of you guys. We really appreciate you guys spending your Wednesday afternoon or evening here with us. But without further ado, let's get into the topics, right? Because in the Wrestling Republic fan chat today, there was a little bit of a debate going on, started by I believe it was just a part. I'll fact check that in a second. But the debate was, did Chris Jericho hurt or help AEW? And this is really, really fascinating, because when AEW first started, I mean, Jericho was like one of their big signings, one of the big names, one of the people to really, provide, I don't want to say provide value, but to make exposure. It feel like it mattered. Yeah. Like exposure, but also to other names, to like a John Moxley or whatever. He showed that, hey, I'm going to go over here and you should as well. A sense of reliability, that's the word I was looking for. But Clark, I want to get your thoughts on this out of the gate. Did Jericho hurt or help AEW in the big picture?
I'm so excited to talk about this one, Ben. It's not even funny. I've been getting a lot of heat in the comments recently, like, you only whine and he's always whining and da-da-da-da. I'm not going to whine about this one, but I might complain a little bit, because if you think that Chris Jericho hurt the inception or the launch of AEW or hurt AEW in any way, you're out of your mind. You're absolutely out of your mind. He was the key piece of the puzzle for AEW. He carried the flag as much as your beloved Cody Rhodes did, as much as the Bucks and the Elite did, for the most important time for AEW, and that was establishing themselves on television. A little bit of the bubbly was huge. The Inner Circle was excellent. During the pandemic, the Stadium Stampede was one of the most fun cinematic matches in an era known for cinematic matches. Chris Jericho was so valuable to AEW over his time there and could still be if he needed to be. It's not even funny. Chris Jericho is the reason a lot of fans, lapsed fans, who no longer watch WWE, saw the ads for AEW and were like, I'm not sure I know all these guys. Wait a minute, Chris Jericho's there? Are you kidding me? Was the Inner Circle, was the Learning Tree great? Not necessarily. No. Was there low points in Chris Jericho's run? Sure, absolutely. But did he hurt AEW in any way? Absolutely no. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. No way in a million years did Chris Jericho hurt AEW. He absolutely helped it. He was as important as anyone.
The one thing I will disagree with you on, Clark, is I do think he did hurt AEW at times, especially in 2023 and 2024. But where I will agree with you is he helped them a million times more than that. This guy, if they didn't have a TV deal, if they didn't have him, I don't know if they would have had a TV deal. He provided, He was an established name, he was a draw. And therefore, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's a bad question just apart, because I think it's a great question, but I think it's a very, very simple answer, and that is that he helped them a lot more than he hurt them. But Des, I want to get your perspective on this.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Last time I checked, Jericho's not in the Hurt Syndicate, so he's not hurting anybody, and certainly not hurting AEW. Speaking as someone who's a big WWE fan growing up, I didn't really want to see AEW until I heard about Chris Jericho, right? Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Jim Ross. Those were the three big guys going to AEW where I'm like, okay, I'm going to give AEW a chance. That's what opened more doors for fans like me, a lot of WWE fans, to go and watch AEW, because Jericho was a big star, right? He left, I want to say, around 2017, 2018. He still had that great story with Kevin Owens, so he was still a pretty hot commodity. And he was also the AEW champion, like Clark said. You know, you had a little bit of bubble. You had the Inner Circle. You had the whole Stadium Stampede. It was great. You had Les Champions, right? It was really great stuff with Jericho. Now, I would say, yeah, because I think it's already, Jericho kind of already had his time in AEW. He's done everything. But overall, if we got to take every single sample we have now of the last 5 years, I would say Jericho more than definitely helped AEW.
Absolutely, and the comments are agreeing. We got Ben in the comments saying he only benefited. A bunch of fans only knew him and Cody Rhodes when AEW went live. Absolutely true. Fernando says again that Jericho helped AEW tremendously, and they probably wouldn't have a TV deal without him. Numero One Superfly says that he did help from 2019 to 2023, but once 2024 hit, he felt as though Jericho did everything he could already do in AEW. And that's where I'll agree with you, Numero One. And this kind of, guys, leads us into a bigger question here, right? Because we all know, it's common knowledge at this point, that Jericho's AEW deal is up either late this year or early next year. The timings, well, there's a few reports contradict each other, but the fact is it's definitely ending soon. And he announced yesterday next year's Chris Jericho cruise, November 2026. And for the first time since the creation of AEW, there was no AEW talents announced. Clark, do you think he's going back to the big WWE?
Chris Jericho's always had an ability to sort of gauge when the times run out. I mean, this is a guy that got thrown in a trash can, basically like fired on television after one of the best rivalries of Cena's career. And he knew it was the right time, and it made him more valuable when he came back later with short hair and completely changed his gimmick and took away all the good stuff. Chris Jericho's more intelligent than we give him credit for. I think it's fine. We'll see what happens with the cruise too. You never know. AEW talent could get added late and things like that.
I don't know. It's a big list, man. I don't think they've got enough cabins to add them all.
That's kind of where I'm at too. You do never know, though. I do think it's very interesting and telling. I will also add one more thing about Chris Jericho. We all like these sing-along songs things, and what he did in AEW with Judas, with the whole crowd singing.
Oh, I agree.
All of that. We saw it with CM Punk in Australia. We've seen it with Edge. We've seen it with Cody Rhodes. We see people oh-ohing for Seth Rollins, and I know we're doing theme songs later, but Jericho deserves more credit than he's ever going to get for things like that.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of his band at all, but that theme song, Judas, it is absolutely, it's fantastic.
Great.
There's no denying it. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. I think it's a foregone conclusion at this point that he's returning to WWE. I feel like he's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to be in the Rumble or after WrestleMania. I don't know, but I reckon he's going to return for one more run, probably just one more year. And in that year, I think he's going to be a babyface. He's going to play all the hits, and it's going to be quite fun. And then he's going to retire. I've said for quite a few years that because of the amount of wrestlers who are around the same age still in the wrestling business, I think we're going to have a year or a couple of years where suddenly a lot of names retire. And I do think John Cena retiring next month is going to kickstart that. I think we're going to see the retirement of Cena, Jericho, Styles, Orton, Samoa Joe, and a lot more in the next 2 years. That is my prediction. But Des, do you think he's going to be returning?
Yeah, I agree. I was saying this all the way back in February. That was my hot take of the year. I said Jericho's coming back in 2026. Now it's not even a hot take. I feel like it's a foregone conclusion, like you said. They literally referenced him at Crown Jewel. They said the walls of Jericho. It's not like they didn't mention Samoa Joe. They didn't mention Frankie. They just said the walls of Jericho, Chris Jericho. And now with the Jericho Cruise, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And honestly, before I was kind of like, I don't know. But now I feel like they can make it work. Jericho is really good at reinventing himself. He has the list, which is pretty over. He can be a really funny guy, and he can create some really funny content. So I am excited.
Absolutely. And I do want to quickly mention that quite a few people have written into us, actually, showing screenshots of this. But it shows that TKO is like co-promoting or is being associated. It says in association with TKO, some of his concerts he's doing in the UK next month. I want to be honest, I think it's unrelated. I can't work it out. I don't know if it's a different TKO. I don't know if it's like maybe they're using some of TKO or WWE's equipment for their concerts or something. But I do think it's unrelated because that venue has done other events in association with TKO too. But I have checked it and it does seem to be the same TKO. But it is interesting. I'll give it that much. But we got a few comments. We got a raid. Shout out to Levi WWE and Jonathan as well.
Takes.
Absolute. I don't know if it was Takes who raided us. I presume it was. Shout out Takes if it was. Ian McWilliams is saying, could you say Jericho was to AEW what Hogan was to WWE?
Very good. WCW.
WCW,
yeah.
That's a very good comparison. I actually totally dig
don't.
That.
I don't
dig
see it, no.
Nowhere near as impactful. Nowhere near.
Ooh,
well, not impactful.
I think by scale that's fair, but I would say it's a valid comparison where you're talking about just an established name that gives you the reason to sort of give it a shot. Where you're like, oh, Chris Jericho's on it. If you have no knowledge of the product going in. That's what
I agree there, but I don't.
And that's where I think that's the comparison he's trying to make. That's where I think it makes sense.
Who was he who jumped WCW right before Hogan did?
Luger,
right?
Luger. I'd almost say Jericho's more the Luger.
Yeah, but Luger was never in a leadership role, and Jericho was always in a leadership role like Hogan.
The only thing is
near as big of a draw.
Yeah, that's fair. The only
thing even comparatively, he isn't.
I mean, a little bit of the bubbly, it was pretty up there.
It was not up there Hogan levels. It was not up there Hogan levels. Come on. Hogan was the biggest star in the industry at that point.
I know.
Jericho was not top 10.
I'm the only one on this podcast that was alive for the Hogan stuff. Let's be very clear.
That's fair.
Yes, and was he or was he not the biggest star in the industry at that point?
Angle in TNA is a very good comparison too. By the way,
Angle I like that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I might go Angle in TNA in the interest of fairness.
I wouldn't say Hogan in WCW because of the later half. Jericho wasn't really in the title picture. Hogan was always in the title picture. He was always there. Jericho, he was in 2019, 2022, and then he was just kind of mid-card doing other stuff. So I don't know if I'd go that far.
Fair enough. But up next, guys, let's move on to the next news story because Matt Cardona made his WWE debut last night. Of course, previously, he was a WWE star under the name Zack Ryder. But after making his debut in a losing attempt against Josh Briggs, Karrion Kross took to Twitter, and at this point he said John Cena versus Matt Cardona needs to happen before Cena retires. And as we all know, Cena's now only got 4 dates remaining. 1 pay-per-view, and that's Survivor Series, 2 Raws, and then his retirement Saturday night's main event. Then this morning, John Cena took to Instagram and decided to post a picture of Zack Ryder. Of course, that might mean nothing, or it might mean something. But Clark, keeping in mind Cena only has 4 dates left, should this match really happen?
For who? For why? What are we doing here? Are you serious? For Karrion Kross or for Matt Cardona, or who does it benefit? What fan really wants to see it besides Karrion Kross? Apparently,
some do. Some
Matt
do.
Cardona's biggest fan. I mean, like what? So WWE can claim that they put the indie god against the Super Cena, and like, what is this? A comic book movie? Knock it off. No way. Absolutely not. Why? I don't understand that at all. He's got 4 dates left, and Cardona starts to slide across the desk. It's like, oh man, that'd be fun. No, it wouldn't. No, absolutely no. I can't fathom a scenario where this makes any sense. Not only that, he just took a loss to Josh Briggs on NXT. It's not like he debuted even on the main roster. Like, what is happening? Like, I could not believe that this was a topic. I truthfully am bamboozled in every way. Like, bless Matt Cardona. I think he's awesome. I love his show about action figures. And I think he's really good with the indie god gimmick. I'd rather see Matt Cardona wrestle Shotzi Blackheart than John Cena in the rest of the calendar year. Stop it. No, absolutely no. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Clark. I completely agree here too. Like, I can't even disagree with this.
I couldn't even think of, like, I'm trying not to be too mean.
I'm actually one of the few people who don't even want the Joe Hendry match, but I'd even prefer
the Joe Hendry
match to this.
I'm with you on that. I don't want it either. I don't want it either at all.
DCX Warlord does. He's saying just be happy it's not Ricky the Joke Saints or
that is a
Page.
Great point, DCX Warlord. Thank you. It is not Rick Saints or Ethan Page. Thank goodness.
Ethan Page
Fernando says wasting Cena's few dates on Cardona is a terrible idea. Guys, I'm going to be honest here. All I want to see is Cena versus Dominic Mysterio IC title. And I don't think we're going to get it. But that should have been a program in like any of these last few months. That should have been a big feud because, as we all know, Cena's never won that IC title. And as we all know, Cena and Rey have a lot of history. And as we all know, Cena and Dom have never faced each other. That seems like a great idea.
I've been saying that since Mania season, Ben. Dom is the logical in San Diego.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Easiest.
I think it's going to happen.
It's also the
It's
one route.
It's too late, probably.
It's the one route you can get to a San Diego crowd actually booing Dom. A Dom might get cheered in San Diego if it's anybody but Cena. That's another thing. I think, truthfully, that's another thing to consider when it comes to that.
I think it's going to.
Warlord saying it's happening at Survivor Series. I hope that's the case. But I'm, to be honest with you, just really, really annoyed at the fact that if it is happening at Survivor Series, you have 2 Raws to build that, and there's so much stuff here. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna go and rant about it again. I cannot understand how we are in a position where there's 2 months left of John Cena and there's 4 dates left. How on earth are we in this position? If he had commitments at this point in the year, you don't retire him at this point in the year. You do his retirement earlier on or later. Yeah. I don't know, but you don't do the end of it, which is the most important part, with no dates left. It's absolutely insane to me.
1000%. And DCX Warlord echoing my sentiment from last week. Final match should be Sheamus for the IC title. Grand Slam champion. Absolutely. I'm with you. That's what I said. He wins the title off Dom, checks the last box on his resume, and then he loses to Sheamus in the last one. I'm all over that.
That would be sensible. It would be.
It really would make sense.
They've completely fumbled this from start to finish. They've
don't see that
disrespected
happening.
Cena, one of the greatest of all time. My blood pressure's through the roof, as Fernando says, all because of this
Beating
booking.
out of his chest.
Listen, there was a line in WWE Unreal, and we're all fans of Unreal here, but in it, Cena says to Triple H, we'd have to muck it up real bad to, mess up any of this. And they've messed it up. They've messed it up massively. Like, they've borderline affected the legacy of John Cena.
They definitely messed up the retirement tour. I wouldn't say the full legacy.
We're going to look back. The retirement tour was such a big thing in the entire year of his career. I think we are going to look back for the next 5 to 10 years, not long term, but for the next 5 to 10 years. When we look back at John Cena's career, we are going to remember the failed retirement tour before we remember anything else. In 10 years plus time, people will forget. But for the next 10 years, we have damaged John Cena's career. That's what I will say.
There's 2 examples that I'll give from sports that make perfect sense in relation to that. You look at Tom Brady, he wins that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And he's like, I'll come back for one more year. It all falls apart. They miss the playoffs. And then he, sort of limps away from the game, right? Michael Jordan has the final send off with the Bulls in 98. And then 2 years later, he goes, oh no, you know what? I'm not done yet. Buys some steak in the Wizards and is like, I'm going to suit up, and plays 2 years for the Washington Wizards. And it just absolutely tarnished that. All you want is the Byron Russell fadeaway against the Jazz in 98. That was enough. He gave us enough.
I'll give you one in wrestling, Clark.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
That guy went away perfect. One of the best retirements ever. What did he then do? Return for that crown jewel match. It was a complete nightmare, just disgraceful match. And look, now when we think of Shawn Michaels, where does my head go? It goes to that. Now, in 10 years' time, it won't, or 5 years' time, it won't, right? Because we'll forget, we'll move on, and then you go back, you watch the classics, and that's what he's remembered for. But for right now, it's left a sour taste in all our mouths. Yeah. And guess what? That's what this retirement tour has done. This, it's one of the worst bits of WWE booking I think I've ever seen. I can't get my head around it. I really can't. It keeps me up at night.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is. I'm 100% with you. I will say that was the fart break kid, though, and not the heartbreak kid in that second match. So I try to pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, I pretend it
I try and pretend it too. Cena versus Melo, another match. DCX, which should have happened. Braun Breaker, another match, which should have happened. There's a lot of matches which should have happened, but they gave us... they played some of the hits, and some of the matches were a lot of fun. There's no denying that. But it's just the stories were all over the place. It's not been planned out from the start. And, to have his retirement match not have a single Raw to be... How on earth, by the way, I'm going to get being set off here again. How on earth is his retirement match going to have no build?
And it's in DC. It's not even in Boston.
Yeah, I know. It isn't.
Look, awesome. That's a natural transition. Because John Cena's retirement tour match, John Cena's final match tickets went up on pre-sale today, and there was a lot of people waiting for them. In fact, according to WrestleOps, there was almost 60,000 fans waiting for these tickets. And this was only the pre-sale, so obviously they can't sell out yet, right?
Right.
So when these actual tickets go on sale, I think they are going to sell out in literally seconds. This is going to be the Oasis tickets all over again. But even more than that, this leads to the question, why on earth wasn't this an actual stadium event? You could have had a stadium retirement tour for John Cena. And as we can see here, it would have easily, and I mean easily, sold out. I don't know why they did it. Again, I think TKO care more about the money than they do about actually giving John Cena a nice send-off. And then once again, Des, I don't know what they're doing with this retirement tour, but it's a complete mess, and it should have been a stadium, in my opinion. But what do you think?
I agree. It's funny enough, I was talking about this a few months back, and there was rumors about going to TD Garden, and I was telling my buddies, how are they going to do it at TD Garden? Because he's like, oh, well, they have 20,000 people there. I'm like, dude, they're going to sell out. People are going to come around the world to see John Cena, one of the biggest stars in the history of WWE. He is going to have 20,000 people watch his match. It's just not going to happen. That's why I was thinking like Gillette Stadium, but obviously that's an open stadium. I agree. This should have been a stadium show. I think WWE underestimated how many people would want to see it, given, it's during the holidays, it's during Christmas. So it can be tough. Like last year, WWE, they didn't have any pay-per-views, no shows in December just because of Christmas. They understand how tough that can be. So maybe that's what came into their mindset while they were looking at this. But then again, it's John Cena. So I don't know why they didn't think that they should have done this at a stadium show. Now, I want to talk to you guys about this. If they did do a stadium show, what stadium do you think they would do it at? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Well, there is a point about New York, it being winter and maybe it's too cold, like
and
Podcast
DC.
Grifter says here. But
and there's no roofed stadium in DC. Remember that?
Yeah, but
no, it's not.
Yeah, but guys, I'm not being funny here, right? It's a joke outside of America about this. You guys are just notoriously wrap up, pad on a coat.
No.
Everywhere else, they do events in stadiums in winter, open roof, apart from in the States. And guess what? It's not colder there compared to the places where they do.
No, Ben. It's not about the cold. It's the fact that the whole thing will be covered in snow. So you won't be able to get in a seat. You go watch a Bills game, go watch a Commanders game in December, that time of year, those type of stadiums. You're seeing fans
snow off your seat.
I understand that, but you're seeing fans throw up snowballs and make snowmen in the stands, and it's fun. At a wrestling show,
snowballs at Triple H with this dreadful booking.
You're not going to go shirtless in 0-degree weather when it's snowing.
Yes, you can. They take ice baths all the time. They can go 20 minutes with their top off.
Here's what I'm saying.
Out.
Ben Davis has the exact right comments. Indy is the first one I thought, other than the travel, because they also have the weather issue. New Orleans would have been great, but the construction's still happening. Dallas makes sense. The one, though, that I think is completely missing from this list that deserves to be there because it's December, go do it in Phoenix. Go do it in Arizona, Glendale, where the Arizona Cardinals play. You get 100,000 people. You got a retractable roof. The weather is perfect. You can fly in 100,000 people to see it, and you can fill it. That's where it should have been. The problem is, I think just the way the tour schedule worked out, and maybe given Cena's time constraints, we're stuck here. We had to do it in an East Coast spot because they're in the middle of an East Coast tour. And it's a brutal.
I think he would have caught a flight. I don't think that's the case. Thing.
Now, the other question would be, when it comes to the whole scheduling of a stadium, it's on a Saturday. It's Saturday night's main event, obviously, right? With a Sunday NFL game to follow, if it's a home game, you can't book any of those stadiums, roofed or not, either. Right? They're not going to hold a wrestling event in one stadium on Saturday night and then hold an NFL Sunday night game or a Sunday morning game the next day.
Well, just make sure you book a stadium which has which is a team which is playing away that week.
But if we were being real smart, you got to go warm weather city as best you can because it's that time of year, man. In the States,
it's cold.
I prefer the snowball idea.
It makes travel hard. I would love that. Don't get me wrong. I would love it for the aesthetic, but the fan complaints would be brutal because
just put on a coat. Hey, you can't handle a little bit of snow.
You saw the coat I wore to the Rumble this year, and that one's indoor. But I'm just saying, like it's going to be that cold in December and January. Like,
and complaining about the cold, that's just rubbish.
It's icy, it's gross, and that's why the stadium booking, Podcast Grifter is correct on this one. He says the reason why they don't book stadiums from summer, fall, winter, it's true. You got to do it sort of in the springtime as best you can. Summer, you've got a shot as long as it's not too hot outside, but especially on the East Coast, those open air.
Well, they're talking about next year doing a Stadium Survivor Series.
I did hear about that.
So I don't know what stadium they're doing.
They're doing one this year at Petco Park. That's open air. But that's because it's San Diego. They picked a warm weather city.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fair.
Really?
Petco Park is a warm. It's south of me,
California.
And you got to learn geography.
No, weather. I mean,
2 hours south of LA.
Was a stadium.
Yeah, Petco Park?
Petco Park. It's where the Padres
play. What do you mean? It's where the Padres play. It's one of the coolest ballparks in America. I don't know who they are.
I just didn't. I clearly missed this story.
Padres translates to father in Spanish, Ben. Just so you know.
Well,
just
that's
like the
awesome.
Cubs are the Padres.
No, the Petco Park. I'm more excited for that show to see how they. I think Petco Park is. I'm obsessed with baseball stadiums. I'm obsessed with football stadiums. I just love that. Try to visit them all, Ben. You know that about me. Petco Park is one of the new modern MLB stadiums. It's one of my absolute favorites, top 5. Like if you take away like the historic ones, like your Cubs and your Wrigley Field, your Fenway Park, places like that Yankee Stadium, even though that one's new too, but it's new but throwbacky. Petco and like in San Francisco, I think it's now PNC Park or something like that. But those two of the modern ones I think are the coolest, and how they're going to work out building a structure to be able to lower 2 cages at Petco Park is going to be incredible. The way that city with the stadium in the middle.
Yeah, that's what my thought is. Yeah,
it's in the middle of downtown.
Can we still see the city, please? I want them to set it up so we can still see the city.
Oh no, you will. You will. You will. The way the hard cam's going to be, you're going to see the buildings in the background.
I don't think we will.
I think
I hope
will,
I'm wrong.
assuredly.
I don't think we will.
I think
I'm
they will.
Sure.
Look at what Fernando just said.
They ran one for the Rumble a few years ago, if I remember correctly, which everyone said the same thing, and then they didn't show the buildings.
But do check out a few of the comments about San Diego. It is genuinely a top 5 city in the country. It's one of the coolest places in America. People like it's.
Well, why didn't we do his retirement event there then?
Honestly,
in this stadium.
When you visited for 39, why didn't we make a drive down to San Diego? You didn't even get to see it. We got to San Clemente. We got to San Clemente when we went to the outlets, Ben. We were about a mile from San Diego County line.
Ooh.
So you got pretty far south.
Well, there we have it, guys.
And then we got fish and chips.
We did great fish and chips. Great fish and chips. Shout out. But DCX Warlord wants to see Cena do a Japan tour. That would have been a lot of fun.
That'd be fun.
Cena versus Tanahashi. I'm gutted. I mean, it was never going to happen. But I'm gutted that didn't happen this year. But guys, it is time to do a Mount Rushmore. If you guys haven't seen these before, basically what we do is we all take a turn and we all have a pick each, right? And we all create our Mount Rushmores of that subject. It's a snake draft, so we all get one first pick each, but you can't pick what somebody else has picked. And this time we are going to be doing who needs theme changes. So without further ado, this is a Mount Rushmore of WWE wrestlers who need a theme change. Don't know why I thought I messed it up then, but
that was actually literally.
No, you got it. Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, clip that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll sort of the clip still. My first pick is going to be Bayley. Her theme absolutely sucks, and it has sucked for a long, long time, and she deserves better. She is Bayley, so that is my first pick. Clark, what about you?
Oh, my first pick's going to be controversial. I got Seth Rollins. I'm done OOing. I've not liked it for this entire run with the Vision. I'm done. Stop it. Knock it off. No. Get him a cool song. Make him cool again. I'm done with it. The little, like, what are you, the Boston Pops? Speaking of Boston there, what do you think you're the Boston Pops? Come on, man. This isn't Home Alone 2. Knock it off.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's a controversial take. I actually think that's one of the most popular takes you could have done.
Are you serious? I like that song, actually.
No, everybody's been saying they want it to go. It doesn't fit his current character.
Yeah,
really? Okay, that's fair.
Fernando says it too.
Yeah. In person, it's pretty cool, though. I'm not going to lie.
D6 Warlord. Des, what's your... maybe you're secretly D6
DC Des Warlord.
Maybe so. DC, there you go.
DC Des Warlord.
DC Des Warlord. There we go. I'm going to go Sheamus here because we need too many limes back. I don't know why they got rid of it. I think Sheamus actually vouched for them to get it back, so I really hope they get it back.
I absolutely agree. It is a complete banger, and his current one isn't bad, but it definitely isn't anything too good. Yeah, exactly. What's your next pick, Des?
All right, number 2, I got Zelina Vega because it's terrible. Like, it's literally terrible. Every time she comes out, you could hear a pin drop, and it's not because it's Zelina Vega, because you hear the boom, 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 boom. Like, it's terrible. If they can get her with Aleister Black and they come out to Root of All Evil, I think they should do that instead.
Absolutely. I mean, look, like her theme is just completely unrecognizable too. And that's the other thing. It's just, No idea who she is when she comes out every single time. And that, I
Yeah.
think, is a clear pattern with all of these themes as well. Where,
true.
like, you notice it the most in a Royal Rumble. And Clark, I remember you mentioned this when you were there. But, like, people's themes would come on and you were like, who is this?
Yeah,
And
like
that's
it's
not
the
good.
first time that's ever happened to me in a Rumble. Usually I'm pretty good. And like the worst part is I'm with my buddy Nick, who's like a casual fan, and he knows his stuff too. And he's asking me, like, you would know who's this? And I'm like, I
No
look
clue.
stupid. I have no idea. And then they come
Mhm.
out and be like, oh, and start to explain who it was. Like, it was brutal.
Who's your next pick, Clark?
Right.
This one I've had a vendetta with for quite some time. It's the Street Profits. Go back to the old team. What are we doing? Give us the cups
It's
back.
fair.
Stop it. Like the new theme doesn't fit. It's not.
No, that's fair.
The Street Profits had a great theme and a great thing going, and there was no reason to change it in the first place.
Pretend it's the red cup with the
Yeah.
red cups. There you go. So, we
Am
want
I
smoke.
going insane? I thought they brought back the Street Profits theme.
No,
Oh,
not
if
yet.
they have, then not
I don't
yet.
believe so.
They
Oh, wait,
might have
they
played
have-
it like.
did
I might have
they
gone
do it on
crazy.
SmackDown?
Did they play it one time? That
Yeah,
would
that's-
make me
No, I might
mad.
have gone crazy. I
No.
feel like
I think we talked about it, and it was
Okay.
teased.
I
Yeah.
can't. I
If
can't even
they
remember
did,
myself
then I'm
now.
wrong, and I apologize because now you're freaking
Comments,
me out.
let me know if I'm.
Now you're
hallucinating
freaking me
shit,
out, but
I
I'm
thought
pretty
they
Yeah,
sure
I don't
they
think
did
it is though. I think you're good.
No.
Right. Anyway, up next, I am back on, and I am going to pick Drew McIntyre because this man's theme, I mean, look, it's so generic. It's not necessarily bad, but compare it to his old one, and you're like, just please go back to a modern version of his old one or something, remix it, because right now it's bland. There's nothing really to it, and yeah, I have no interest in seeing it. But also another person who I believe needs a new theme is Braun Breaker. I don't think that
Really?
theme really fits a main event star or him. It doesn't feel like a song which could be in the main event of WrestleMania, and he needs a theme which could be in the main event of WrestleMania. But Clark, it's back to you.
So this is an interesting one, and I don't want to be too controversial, but my next pick is Penta El Cero Miedo. Because you know why? I love the entrance. I love everything about it, the strut, all of that. That's what makes it the pyro. The song doesn't fit him. If you go back
Really?
and watch the AEW tape, that's not what Penta listens to. The WWE song. What he listens to is what he came out to in AEW, where it fits, where it's the classic rap hip hop style. That's the music he likes. That's the music he cruises to. The entrance can be the same, but change the genre. It doesn't fit him perfectly. It's too generic. He manages to make the entrance. I'll give Penta all the credit in the world. He makes it cool with the strut and the pyro and everything about it, but the music does not fit Penta.
Well,
Oh,
Clark,
man.
I'm gonna have. I completely disagree with you there, but I am also. I'll edit it in the reel. So you said Penta first instead of Street Profits, but Street Profits have had their old theme back.
Oh,
for a
shoot.
few
All
weeks
right,
now.
perfect.
Brought it
So,
back? Okay, I apologize then.
so
you
who you
want
can
me
take as
to-
your third pick?
Oh, wow. That's really tough, actually. That throws things off. You can't just let me have the profits?
No, because the comments
okay.
will murder you because it has changed.
Let me talk about. Thank you, by the way, for saving me from that. I am gonna go with. Give me Charlotte Flair for my next one because I actually think
Ooh.
Charlotte Flair needs
Okay, that's not
something that fits her persona better than the current one. I actually enjoyed her old music, the more sort of
Yeah.
upbeat version of his of her dad's music. I get getting away from that, but she needs something more Queen-like, something more intense. So I'm gonna go Charlotte Flair. I apologize there on that, and I'm sorry about the Street Profits thing. I did mess that up. I actually had a weird feeling when you said it because I remember hearing it and being excited about it, but I just hadn't gotten to talk about it on air. So I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
they haven't brought it back yet. That's on me. My apologies.
But Charlotte's a great shout, actually,
Yeah.
because especially when her old theme I thought fitted her so well, it just doesn't fit anymore. Des, what about you? What are your final two picks?
All right, my final two picks. I'm gonna go with Jordan Grace because it sucks, dude. It's not a good theme. I love her old one with Scott Steiner was like with the siren. Now it's just so generic. I don't like it. I mean, I get it because it's a TNA song and stuff, but like, man, the other one was so much cooler. I liked it.
And what's your last pick?
All right, my last pick. I'm gonna go. I have a lot to pick from, but I'm gonna go with the Motor City Machine Guns because it's terrible. Raise your fist. Like the one they had in TNA was so much better. like you see it. Sometimes some of the fans, when the Motor City Machine Guns, they came out, they were kind of like, who are these guys, right? And that's not really the reaction you want to get because it's the Motor City Machine Guns, one of the most decorated tag teams of all time. So yeah, Motor City Machine Guns got to be on there.
Fair enough. I'm going to be honest. I don't hate their song compared to some of the Death Rebel stuff, but it's not as good as the TNA one. That is for sure. Clark, what's your final pick?
Well, it's a no-brainer for me here. I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. I hate that stupid song so much. I never want to have to hear it again. It bugs me to death. I just don't want to have to hear it. Give him elevator music, give him violins, give him whatever you want, but I'm just sick of it.
Of course, we were going to get a Cody diss. That was going to happen at some point, and there it was. But last but not least, I'm going to take the Judgment Day. Their old song on the other side, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back because right now it's as generic can be. It fits the Judgment Day because they seem generic nowadays. They feel like what Clark was describing them as 2 years ago when they were actually perfectly good. But Clark has talked that into existence, just like you talked into existence the release of dozens at this point.
I knew you were going to say that.
Released wrestlers.
I've cost a lot of jobs this year, Ben. Sorry, Ashanti.
Terrific.
Go get him, buddy.
Put that on a poster.
Yeah.
Harvey Emanuel heard that and he was like, we gotta go.
It's like, oh, no posters. Not the posters.
Posters is a big point of sales for TKO, Clark. Big point of sales.
It does, yeah.
That's where did great. Jericho hurt or help AEW? Well, did he sell some posters?
If you look at the scouting report, it's like posterability. That's like third on the list of the attributes.
It's important. Yeah. 5-star matches? Nah. 5 post sales. Yeah.
So good.
That does, though, bring us to the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much, Clark and Des, for joining me here today. And thank you to everybody who's been commenting along throughout. We love to have you guys here with us. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of AEW Dynamite. It'll be a fun one. Have a good day. Peace.